Kara Hanegraaff here. I am on video 3, I believe, for completing making this look, turning this look into this. I'm got my eyes done, got my skin prepped, and now I'm ready for coverage, which is what I want the most because let's be honest, when we have our eyes done, it looks a little crazy until we get our face done. So I'm going to be starting with our Blenderful. I love this blending bud case. It keeps it, it's a nice traveling case. It just keeps it from touching a bunch of stuff. It's great. My blending bud is dirty because I just used it on the side of my face. I'm also going to be working on my concealer foundation palette. I love this palette. It's kind of like everything you need. And I mean, imagine you have your concealer and your two foundations and concealer, and it's in this skinny little thing. You can see why makeup artists love this packaging because it's high quality products that are used everywhere, but it's also in really convenient packaging, so you don't have to have this huge kit you lug around. You can really just stack it up in like the smallest amount of space. But anyway, let's not get into that right now, and let's just get into foundation and concealer. I always like to color correct when I have this redness. So if you color correct, and you don't, not everybody needs to, but if you like to color correct either redness or dark under eye circles, do that first. And you don't want or need a lot. You don't need to do full coverage. It's just a light, it just takes a little bit of that redness out is what I do. So I'm just putting it in my green concealer. If you have blue under eye circles, you'd want to get more of a pinky color, the pinky concealer, which would be like number 3, I believe. And I'm just really lightly tapping this on my skin. As you can see, it's not, I'm not doing like layering it on. I'm just kind of taking out some of this redness that I have. Just really lightly. It's barely even a layer. And look back when I'm not too close, you can kind of see a difference already. I mean, does anyone look good like this close? I know I don't. So, all right, so I took some of that redness down. It's still uneven, but that's okay. That's what the foundation is for. So I'm going to get my Blenderful blending bud. It's flat. I love that because it covers a lot of space on my face, but the little pointy part can really help pinpoint certain areas. So I'm going to put that right into my foundation. It fits really well. And I'm going to do a turn. I'm pressing, and I'm doing like, that's about a half a turn, and I'm getting product on here, as you can see. And that's what the product looks like when it's on the blending bud. And I'm just going to kind of pat it on. As you can tell, it is really pigmented, which is why it's considered professional makeup, because of the high pigmentation. And high pigmentation means that just in a tiny, tiny amount, you have a lot of coverage. So I don't have to use a lot of makeup. That's why it doesn't look like I have a lot of makeup on when I have it on, because I really don't. And there's different ways you can apply it. You can use a brush if you like using a brush. You can use this blending bud. I mean, some people even use their fingers. So I just kind of pat it, and sometimes I do little turns, and I always go over my ears a little bit and go down my neck a little bit. You can see such a huge difference already. I might go in and get just a teeny tiny bit more and just kind of do like a quarter of a turn just to get this problem area. I have a lot of texture here that's just obviously not going to be covered with concealer because it's textured. But that's why I like to do little twists in here to make sure I just get in those nooks and crannies that I need to get. Okay, so that is it for the concealer. Now this is probably more, I don't know, I feel like when I use a blending bud I can get more of a lighter coverage. You can do more full coverage if you want to do that. Okay, now I'm going to go in with concealer and just, you know, I have some spots that the foundation just, you know, it's not concealer, it's foundation. So I want to go in and kind of touch up on some of those spots with my concealer. And so I'm going to go in with number 2, which is more of a warmer tone. And I'm going to go in right here. Get that under eye right there. I'm also going to go on this little pimple, and this little pimple, and this little pimple. And I know I had one up here somewhere. Okay, let's even that out a little bit, smooth it out. There we go. And I'm going to just kind of brighten that up right under here. And sometimes when you're putting on concealer, you just need to put it on and then you just kind of tap around. You don't need to rub it in because then you're going to rub it off. You tap. If it's the right color, it'll be perfectly fine. You just kind of tap, and then as you go around the little spot, then you just kind of blend it out a little bit more. A lot of times then what I would like to do, especially on like some zits, is I like to go in with a translucent powder, and I really set that all by itself a little bit more than I would set my rest of my face, just to keep it from moving. Alrighty, so now I'm going to be doing my brows next. I was going to do it the same as my foundation, but I'm going to do that for another video.